Record.
All right. Thank you for coming on to our team call. I'm actually really excited about this one too. I feel like I've made a lot of really great friends through Beachbody. I think it's probably what I love the most about it so far. And Kim has become just one of my closest friends. And it's funny though, because we became really good friends, but I actually don't know that much about her Beachbody business. And I had to text her and be like, I don't know anything to introduce you with tonight. So she had to send me some of that information so that I could share it with you. So what I did know was that Kim decided one day that she was going to do P90X. And this was when she had an extra 120 pounds on her. And her cousin, Keith Callahan, told her she couldn't. And the rest is history. Nobody can tell this woman that she can't do anything. So that was 5 years ago, and she has lost her 120 pounds. She is a 1-star diamond right now, and she has gone on to be a fitness competitor. She's certified in PIO, Hip Hustle, and Turbo, right?
And Turbo.
She was on the Dr. Oz show with Tony Horton, which I never knew until I spoke to her tonight.
Tony Horton!
She's a Body Beast success story, and very exciting is that she's selected as, I don't know what you'd call it, a contender or somebody who may be on the new infomercial for the Hammer and Chisel program that's coming out. So that's really, really exciting. So Kim is going to talk about branding. We know how important that is. We all need to be ourselves in this business in order for it to work. This isn't
introduction.
There isn't one brand that we all have. What we bring to this business is us. It's who we are. So Kim will help us zero in on that a little bit tonight. So, okay, we've got to do this special introduction. Go ahead.
Give it up to Kim Parker!
Good job, Dylan. There you go. Kim, it's all you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dylan.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to switch it over to speaker view, and then you can get started.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for having me. I'm very excited. This is normally past my bedtime, but I figured I'd do this nice little special thing for my friend Dawn and for you guys. So today's topic is going to be about branding. I'll give you a little history of more than what Dawn gave me. So gave you guys. So 5.5 years ago was when I started this journey, and she's right. I was 250 pounds, single mom of 2. One of my children has some severe learning disabilities and was in and out of the hospital for several years. So there was a lot of struggle. He was between the ages of 5 and 12 and pretty much lived at the hospital. So that was tough, not having their dad involved and just trying to live one day at a time. And unfortunately, things catch up with you. And the next thing you know, you turn around and you forget who you are, and you've lost touch of everything. And I won't ever forget the day that my cousin, Keith Callahan, I'm not sure if you guys know who he is, but if you don't, you might want to know since he's a millionaire with the company. He was inducted to the Millionaires Club last year, so 2014. But nonetheless, he called me and called me and called me and called me, I swear, a dozen times, and was like, Kim, you have to try this. You have to try this. And I was like, Keith, I am not doing this. I've tried every diet under the sun. I've tried the cookie diet, the cabbage diet, everyone. I've tried them all. I'm not doing it. And he never gave up on me. He never gave up on trying to touch me and trying to get in touch with me in a way that other companies hadn't. And I won't forget that it was one Saturday morning. I joke with him that I must have had a really good breakfast, probably pancakes, because he called me and I think I had just had enough. And he's like, come on, Kim, just do it. It's a money back guarantee. And I said to him, fine, I will do it. But I'm going to guarantee you that I'm going to return it. And that was 5.5 years ago. And I haven't returned a single bag. So persistence. And then a couple weeks later, P90X arrived in the mail. My brother and my cousin had both had tremendous success with it. And I was sitting with them at a family gathering, and I got one on one side and another on the other side. And, Mark, if you guys don't know my brother, Mark Parker, is very much a light a fire under your ass type of person. Whereas Keith is more of a, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And I was like, I'm going to do P90X. And Keith is like, yay, good job, you can do it. And Mark's like, hell no, you can't. So nonetheless, I decided to prove him wrong and ordered P90X. And the rest is kind of history. Lost a ton of weight, 120 pounds, became a fitness competitor, became a nutritional guru. I am the queen of prep. If you guys don't follow me on Facebook, I'm sure that if you go to look to my page, I prep every Sunday. I spend about 4 hours doing it. But so that goes right into actually what we're going to talk about is branding. So you notice I have my Body Beast hat on, and I just talked about food prep. So branding is something that's super, super, super uber important in this business. And raise your hand if you guys are under a year in the business. So a lot is under a year. So I will tell you this, if you're under a year, you probably all know that you suck at branding, right? And that's normal. It takes a long time to develop a brand. The most important part is to figure out what your brand is going to be. Luckily, Beachbody is now, 7 years into coaching, and there's been a lot of us who have severely failed in the beginning. So we have all of these lovely tips of the trade to share with you. First of all, do not post about Beachbody and Beachbody only all the time. Don't throw it up. People will be sick of you. They will unfollow you. They will block you. Your family will hate you. They will be like, why do you not shut up about this stuff? Now, trust me when I say this. I lived in Norton growing up. My cousin Keith was from Norton. Do you guys know who Nicole Jones is? You know who Nicole Jones is? Raise your hand. Okay, so Nicole Jones is very good with this business. She's also from Norton. And then add in about 15 more people that all came into the business at one time. And this is when Facebook really started to get popular, 5-6 years ago. And here we are, 20 of us, posting about Beachbody, and we were pretty much blocked by the entire town. And everybody was sick of us because that's all we talked about. So nonetheless, you have to find what is important to you. What do you want to know for people to know about you? Remember that Facebook really isn't your platform. Facebook is a platform for you, for what people want to know about you, okay? So it's what you want people to know about you. It's what you want people to find interesting about you. So for me, when it first started out, when I first started trying to develop my brand, it was definitely my journey was number one. And then my kids were number two. My son was still getting, starting to get well. So I talked a lot about his struggle and about mental illness and, the stereotypes that went along with that. And that actually broke down a lot of walls because mental illness and nutrition in my journey are two totally different things, right? So it's bringing people into your network that aren't just fitness related. And then the third thing was the giants. And that was in the beginning for me. So I had to develop those three things that I wanted people to know. One is not related to the other, and the other one is not related to that one either. So they're three completely separate things, right? And you can see why this is important because you're going to draw people from this side, you're going to draw people from this side, and you're going to draw people from down below. Whereas some people try to develop their brand, and they're all fitness related. And what happens then? You have a really hard time pulling anybody else into your circle because they're scared shitless, right, of that. So you want to figure out those three things, and that's going to evolve over time. So as your business evolves, your brand is going to evolve. When you find your niche, your brand is going to evolve. So if I was to say to Laura today, Laura, what are the 3 things that you think about me when you think Kim and Facebook? Go ahead, answer the question.
And unmute. I think holy muscles, because I see you posting about your muscles all the time, and it's a huge inspiration. I think awesome mom, because you post lots of pictures with your kids. And I think fun, because you post pictures of like you in your Jeep and you with friends and you chilling on your back porch. So a lot of like fun, good times.
All right. So see, those are 3 different areas that I post about that I want people to know about. So she's hit several different things. So 1, my muscles, that's my fitness journey as a competitor. When you're 250 pounds, you really don't have a lot of muscles. So there's something I'm very, very proud of. And especially now, we'll go into this a little bit later, this is my journey back. I've fallen, and I'm working my way back. So we'll talk about that in a second. The second thing she said was fun. I want people to know that I'm fun, and I want people to know that we have a life outside of Beachbody. Things actually happen outside of our little world. Holy crap, who would have ever thought? So yes, I enjoy my Jeep, I enjoy my dog, and I enjoy my kids, even though they're a pain in the rear end sometimes. But yes, I genuinely love them. Amazing, right? So yes, those are the 3 things. And then another thing that I like to push across is nutrition, but not perfection. So I am probably one of the realest people that you will ever come across on Facebook. And people have said to me, oh my gosh, you're just like you are on Facebook in real life. Holy crap, really? What an amazing thing. Like, that's what you're supposed to be. When you get stopped at Summit with your, your gallon of water and your 6-pack fitness bag, and someone's like, oh, that's not just for Facebook. No, honey, this is my real life. This is what I do every day. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you're portraying your actual real life. Nobody is all rainbows and unicorns. I hate to tell you. And if you have a rainbows and unicorns life, you need a wake-up call. Because life is not perfect. It's just not. You're living in a fantasy land if you think it is going to be perfect. And this business is going to bring you down really fast if you think life is perfect. So, nonetheless, developing your brand. So how do we go about doing this? First things first, you guys have heard it 1,001 times. How many times a day do we need to post minimum? Oh, look, I broke a nail. So yes, 3 times a day. Now, how do we do this? How do we develop how many times a day and what we actually post about? This is really dependent upon your audience. My times a day may not work for you, right? So my times a day, I've learned, are around 8 a.m., around 12:30, between 12:30 and 2 p.m., and then around 8:30 p.m. Now, how did I define this out? Well, I started posting at all different times, and I actually started to track the number of likes and the number of comments that each post got. And if I saw that I wasn't getting any traction, I was like, okay, I'm not going to post it this time. And I kept a journal, really, to really figure out what worked when. Now, I post about all different things at all different times. So I just don't stick my 8:30 post to just nutrition, and I don't stick my 12:30 to 2 post about just my family. You mix them up. Make them interchangeable. If you're talking about Beachbody, talk about Shakeology in one post. Talk about a challenge group in another post. Talk about what Beachbody has done for you in your life in another post. And you can actually make a grid, on a either a whiteboard or on a graphical graph chart, and just make a grid. 7 days, 3 lines. This is your Beachbody post. This is your family's post. This is whatever else post. And make them all over the place so that people don't start to see monotonous, same routine type thing. Once you've developed a really, really good base of when to post things, this is where it gets to be a lot of fun, because you can interact with people when you post them, but then you can repopulate into the feed. So do you guys know how Facebook works? that only about 13% of your followers actually see your posts. Did you guys know that? And the way it works is if you do not get a significant amount of hits within the first 10 minutes of you posting, it goes even lower than that. So you want to make sure that your content is good and it's got substance, or it's funny, it's eye-catching, and eye-catching means really good pictures, silly pictures, whatnot. And then once people start liking on it, as soon as someone makes a comment, comment back. That'll start to get it to populate into other people's threads. Once you're able to get a good 4, 5, 6 people commenting, then you can leave it alone for a little while because other people are now going to see it because it's populated into their newsfeed. Hold off for like an hour before you post anything more on that post and then comment again. Because what does that do? Do you guys know what that does? That repopulates it into the feed again. And you can continue to do this for 3, 4, 5 days after you've posted the original post. So if you have something that works really good, so like my Sunday food prep post always does very well. If I don't get over 100 likes on things now, I'm a little pissed off. And I look at my content and I see where I went wrong, or did I post about the same thing multiple times in the same time frame, that type of thing. But you can go back onto a post that was super popular and answer someone's question. And now it's going to repopulate into everybody's feed, and they're going to be like, hey, look at that, Laura. Look at her. Look what she's doing. Da-da-da-da-da. And you're going to start to get more followers and more interest. And therefore, the next time you post, it's going to automatically go to a higher percentage of feeds that you work in. So does that make sense? So if you get a high post of numerous likes, make sure you follow that post up with something meaty. Something that's got a good amount of content in it, whether or not it's a challenge group invite. And do not, please, Lord, do not use Beachbody photos or links on your timeline. They are the most generic, salesy, oh my gosh, you didn't put any thought into this post. Am I right? If you're scrolling through the newsfeed and you see a repost of this person won, da, 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 but it came directly from the Beachbody website, you're like, you don't know them. And you keep on scrolling, right? But if you have someone that you know, so like Lisa and Carl Gambardella, if you don't know who those people are, they're awesome. Friends of mine. They've lost a combined 400 pounds with Beachbody. Now, don't you think that your followers would want to hear more about Lisa and Carl Gambardella and their journey together than some random person that you don't even have a clue to what their last name is because all it says is Lisa G? Right? So you're going to be able to reach out and you'll touch, contact these people and say, hey, can I share your story? Or do you have any advice that you could give my followers? Like that type of thing. Attach their picture to it, before and after picture. There's nothing worse than sharing links. So that's kind of how to brand yourself with Beachbody. Now, how do you brand yourself with, your other 2 topics? Keep it simple. Keep it simple and keep it fun and keep it real. You want to let your audience know who you are. If you're someone who struggles with food, I do. I struggle tremendously with food. I'm a food addict. I struggle. I'm not going to cry. I struggle with sugar. I struggle with failure in those respects. So that is something that I know that my audience looks to me for. They look to me for, she gets it. She gets it, but yet she's still going to the gym every day. She gets it, but she's still prepping her food every weekend. She gets it and she keeps on going, right? So that's going to draw you in to other people in your age bracket or not in your age bracket. It's unlimitless because you get where they are, right? And then there's always the family. If you want someone to know you want the people to know you for your family, your kids, your dog, again, make sure you let people in. So one of the things that you'll see the most popular people on Facebook such as Danielle Natoni. Do you guys know who Danielle Natoni is? So Fit and Funky. Do you guys know who Fit and Funky is? Some do, some don't. So Fit and Funky, if you follow her on Facebook, Danielle Natoni, she's been in the Insanity videos, Insanity Max 30, Asylum. She's in Size. She's basically Shaun T's right-hand chick. But she's real. And she is real as you can get. And her posts pretty much show you that. And she will call people out and be like, hey, listen, just because I didn't lose 120 pounds doesn't mean that I don't have a story. And she'll tell you about how she was bankrupt and how she went through a divorce in the middle of her becoming very successful with Beachbody because her and her spouse grew apart. She'll talk about how people make fun of her abs and say that she's flat-chested and she looks like a boy. You know, those are all the things that she's able to pull people in because other people get it. So you see how if you don't open yourself up to people, you're never going to be able to create your brand. It will not happen. You'll be seen as fake, and people can see right through it. I'm sure you guys have all seen it, right, on Facebook. The ones that you can see right through the coaches that are really pushing it hard, but they're like pushing way too hard, right? And you're not getting much from them. You're not waking up every morning going, "Whoo, I wonder what what they're up to," or I wonder what Dawn's doing, or I wonder what Danielle's doing today. You know, they're not looking for that. But if you draw them in to your brand, they certainly will. Let me think. What else I wanted to talk about? I talked about the reposting. Oh, reposting. That's actually what I wanted to talk about. Don't be afraid to repost something that worked. So I have this story that I've talked about frequently. It's about my granola bar on the floor. So when I was, Dawn actually, she reminded me of this the other day. Who's heard my granola bar story? Just Dawn, I think, right? All right, so when I was competing last year, I had a wicked, wicked bad morning. It was actually prior to me even starting dieting down. But I knew that I was getting ready. And I knew that I was going to have to start overcoming my fears and getting rid of sugar and yada, 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 yada. But I had a wicked bad morning. I mean bad. My kids were all over the place. I was late to the bus. They missed the bus. I think I nicked my door, my window on the way out the garage. It sucked. It was one of those days, right? And my kid is in the front seat, and he threw his backpack in the car, and his freaking granola bar fell out of the flipping backpack. And I knew it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and that granola bar is like staring at me. And it's a Kind chocolate peanut butter crunch granola bar. So they're wicked good. And it's staring at me. It's telling me to eat me. Eat me, 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 eat me. And I kid you not, I stared at that granola bar forever. But I didn't eat it. I kept it there, and it stayed there. And I shared that story with people, and I can't tell you the response I got because people were like, oh my gosh, you go through that too? You have like food that talks to you? Dude, I have food that talks to me all day long. It doesn't even need to be in my presence, and I have the food talking to me. So it was something that a lot of people could understand and relate, and they were like, wow, here she is getting ready for a competition, and the granola bar's talking to her. Wow. You know? So that's something that I repost frequently. I use it a lot in my challenge groups because it's a situation that a lot of people struggle with. So don't be afraid to use things over and over and over. Currently right now, you know, I'm being very open with people about my current situation, about getting sick. So I was on top of the fitness world last April and last June. I competed in 2 fitness competitions and did very well. In June, I came in second, and third in my masters in an open division. And then 6 weeks later, I got sick. And within 10 weeks after that, not only did I get sick, but I could no longer walk. And I couldn't barely talk. And I could barely move my arms. and I couldn't brush my teeth or my hair myself. My kids had to brush my hair. My son had to blow dry my hair. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't lift my toes off the ground. And that's scary. And to know that people had been following me for my journey and, you know, the road to the stage and taking back your life and being strong and no excuses and food never came into play because I was strong. And now here I am having to say, hold on, things are different now. You know, let's take a step back. It was hard. It was, do I share this story or do I not share this story? Because the disease I have affects 1 in 2,000 people in the United States. It's an autoimmune disease, and there is no cure. None. So I can either give into it, and it will take my mobility. I would be in a chair. I wouldn't be able to basically do anything for myself. Or I can share that story with others to inspire them. And in the same time, help myself regain my own strength. And that has opened up a whole new world for me. A whole new support system, a whole new group of people who I wouldn't have been able to touch if I hadn't laid that foundation of letting people into my life previously. And now I'm counting on those people to help me and to help me regain my strength and to fight these demons, because I'm struggling probably the most that I've struggled in my entire journey. I'm struggling my medication. I'm on low dose chemotherapy and high dose steroids. So I get cranky and I get hungry a lot and I give into a lot of cravings and I get emotional and I second guess everything. But now here I am, you know, I'm able to share this journey with people that I became friends with because I let them into my life. And it's a pretty cool feeling to know that people have your back. You know, and that's all part of branding. It's all part of letting people in, giving your heart, and not being afraid of what your next door neighbor says or your family says or your best friend says, because I know you guys have all heard it, right? What's this crazy shake stuff? This isn't going to work. You guys are just going to fail. What else is there out there? I mean, it'll end at some point in time. It's an MLM. It's a pyramid scheme. It's this. It's that. You've heard it all. But believe in yourself and believe in what the message is that you're putting across. And good things will happen to you all. They really will. Just keep pushing and develop what you want people to know about you. Does that make sense, everybody? So it's a little deeper than just branding. It's really about what you want the world to know about you. Your audience drives your page. And if you have something to share with somebody or the world, do it. I'm telling you, it will help. Got me on Body Beast infomercial. You know, it's pretty cool to be able to say that because of the way that I put myself out there on Facebook, I was able to be on Dr. Oz with Tony Horton, you know, and to do all these really great things because you're recognized, because you're different. You're not just an everyday Beachbody coach selling Shakeology and challenge packs. Yeah? I didn't cry. That's a good thing. Does anybody have any questions? No, I wasn't going to cry.
I'm impressed that you didn't cry. Good job. That was actually awesome. I think that one of the hardest things that people struggle with is being vulnerable out there. And like you say, just sort of putting out there all the good stuff that's going on. But when you make yourself vulnerable, that's when you're actually able to connect to people.
Good job not crying.
Go ahead.
Kim, good job not crying.
Thanks, buddy.
Does anybody have any questions?
It's got to be questions. Anybody want to know anything? I always have people who are like,
Have any questions?
no questions? What do you guys struggle with the most when it comes to Facebook?
I have a question.
Anybody?
I
Oh,
do.
quiet.
I know.
I have a question.
Stop. Take advantage of this. Seriously. She's willing to share. Anything?
All right, well, then I have something else to say then.
Okay.
Remember that this business isn't just about Beachbody. Okay? You have to lose that. It's not just about Beachbody. It's about helping people. It's what you're here for, is to help other people. And I've seen a lot of it lately about this one bashing this company and that bashing that company. And everybody wants to do a product comparison of Shakeology to everything else. I'm going to tell you, don't waste your time. Do not waste your time doing that type of thing. Don't waste your time defending yourself. Share what it does for you, what it does for your family, what it does for your friends. Because ultimately, we're all in this business for one reason and one reason only, whether or not it's Shakeology or Visalis or it works. And what I mean, I have friends in all of these multi-level marketing businesses, and they're all great people. They really are. You know, it's what works for them. And if something doesn't work for your customer, don't get all pissed off and bent out of shape if they go choose Body by V, you know, or Vi or whatever it's called. Because what will happen is it's going to reflect. You know what I mean? It's going to reflect on you and your page if you're out there bashing crap. Don't do it. All right, there's a question down here. Hold on. All right. Having a hard time finding 3 things to post every day. Don't want to post about my workout shake every day. Only so much kid pictures. How do I find more content that works? All right. Find more. I'm looking for who I'm talking to because I'm trying to look at you.
I have a question.
She doesn't have her video up.
Oh, she doesn't have her video up. That's why. All right. So more content. I mean, find out what are your hobbies? You know, yeah, you don't want to post about your workout or your shake every day, but there's multiple things about Beachbody you can post about. You can post about the business opportunity. If you're on this team call, you're into the business. You should be posting about the business opportunity. End of story. If you're not posting about the business opportunity, guess what? You're not going to get people who are interested in the business. Wow, crazy how that works, huh? Post about, yeah, you can post about your Shakeology. You can post about your workout. I freaking post my workout every flipping day. You shitting me? Hell yeah. Why not? It's strong. It makes you strong. It makes you accountable. And that's what Facebook was for me when I first started, was accountability. You know, if I posted it to Facebook, everybody's like, oh yeah. And then they start joining you. You can also post about your challenge groups. You can post about other people's successes. You can post Transformation Tuesday. You can post Throwback Thursday, Flex Friday. What else are the other ones that's out there? Woman Crush Wednesday. There's all kinds of Motivational Monday, Surprise Sunday, Super Saturday. I mean, there's a ton of stuff you can post about. Let's see. What else could you post about? Everything. Write a list. I put things in my phone. Oh, and don't be afraid to not. Do you think that what I post actually happens at that moment in time? Very rarely do I post something that actually just happens. I write this shit down. And I use it for a later time. Because some days are jam-packed with excitement. And then there are other days that I'm like, oh my God, give me my bed. And there ain't nothing going on in that day. But I'm like, oh yeah, I can post what happened over the weekend. You know what I mean? Save stuff. Makes sense. All right, let's see what else. How was your journey starting off as coach? Like the first 6 months, it sucked. It was terrible. I overposted. I think I tried to recruit every family member possible. They all signed up and canceled within the 60 days, except for my parents. And the only reason why they didn't cancel is because I pay for their shakes. And you guys know that you can do that, right? U+2. U+2. You can hold up to 2 other people on the same credit card. So that you can have yourself plus 2 other people. And then, you know, it was hard. But everybody is hard. Have you guys ever heard Caleb Thomas's video about his first 6 months in the business? Dawn, post that. Go onto his YouTube page and find that video. I think it's called My First 6 Months. And he will talk about how he didn't have a single customer retained in the first 6 months. Not one. And look at him now. I mean, he's a flipping rock star. You know, so there's a lot of us. I mean, my cousin Keith failed multiple times. I don't think he hit diamond until like a year in the business. And he's a millionaire now. Like, stupid money. Like, crazy. Can't even fathom it. Just keep pushing. 3 vitals, you know. And the thing about the 3 vitals, Dawn likes to read. I don't. I hate it. Like, I really hate it. There's this book over here that she told me to buy. I've read 5 pages. Sorry. But I don't like to read. So audiobooks is a good thing. But don't think that personal development is just about books. Personal development can be all kinds of things. Personal development can be going to church. Personal development could be joining a group. Personal development could be literally journaling for yourself every single day. Personal development isn't just about reading. There are so many other ways to get personal development in. You can watch autobiographies. You can watch movies that, you know, that help you. Those type of things. There's all kinds of ways for personal development. So there you can go. All right, let's see. Anybody else? All right. No more?
Any other questions?
I have one.
No.
Good job not trying, and thanks for being on our team call tonight, and everyone except Kim Parker.
Thanks, Dylan.
Well, thank you very much for staying up past your bedtime. I guess we're going to call it if nobody else has any questions. I think that was awesome. I got a really lot out of it. I hope everyone else did too. I'm sure that you did. And I will get that Caleb video, and I'll post it to all the different team pages so everyone can see it.
He has a lot of great stuff too. If you guys have gone through, has anybody gone through like the 90 days diamond training?
No.
Bob's training, right?
No.
Oh, you mean back
training?
office?
You have your own damn team calls. You should be having your own damn 90 to diamond.
In the back office?
No. Yes, that training, but make your own. Follow the script, but make it your own.
Yes.
So nonetheless, Caleb Thomas has some awesome videos for 90 diamond. 90 Days to Diamond. So he has some wicked awesome training videos for emeralds, for diamonds, for overcoming obstacles, to everything down to, for him, his faith is a huge thing, and bringing in his faith into the business. You know, you don't have to lose who you are in this business. So don't hide it, because people will see through it when you can't go anywhere on Sunday because you have to go to church. It's a priority in your life. All right, nonetheless, peace out, homies. You can do it.
Thank you. So basically, I guess you are your brand. So you need to figure out what sets you apart from everybody else and take it from there.
Correct. You are. You control your destiny.
Last call for any other questions. None? All right. You're off the hook. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
I have a question.